guys, I'm going to do a quick deck tutorial on a new version of Magistus, which is Mitsurgui Magistus. Using the new Mitsurgui stuff that's coming out in the next set. I think it's ALIN, Allies Insight. Magistus stuff is coming later this year, I think in June, in Monster Mayhem, the Brothers Legend set. And this is a variation of Magistus that is pretty consistent and pretty reliable as a deck. I think this might be one of the better versions of Magistus that might come out, or that you can play when the Magistus stuff comes in the TCG. And also, this is an interesting deck because it is a deck that uses a one-card combo. It has a lot extra space. As you can see, we have like Lizardos, we have the Axial line to go over OTKs if you need it, and then multiple options. The side is just ignore that, and then here is like just a deck. As you can see, there's multiple Golden Second cards. You can adjust things as you like, but this is what I personally choose to run. It's not like this list is necessarily been tested in tournament play. It's just something I've been playing in casual ladder on Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega, and it's been really good. It's actually been performing really good. I would say like you need to draw non-engine into meta, but I think you can reasonably play into meta. Like Malice Endboar is really hard to break, especially if you don't draw like a Lancia or something in your side. But it's possible to break like a Rilliona board if you draw like Droplet or something. Anyway, I'm yapping. So I'm not gonna do a card by card, but you can see the ratios. There's only one ritual spell, 3 of the quick plays, because these are starters for getting to Mitsurgui stuff. And the ritual spell does nothing by itself. And the sad part about Magistus in 2025, or what we have right now, is that you have to run a couple of bricks, which is Crowley and Jenny. This Crowley is like a brick. It's not a brick, but it's not a good card to have in hand, because you don't normally have multiple spellcasters in hand. I do run like trolls, but yeah. Like there's a couple bricks in this deck, which is annoying. And any Magistus deck that is trying to end on a lot of bodies kind of has to run these bricks, which is annoying. But I wanted to show you guys a couple the combat story for this deck, and I also wanted to show some replays, and I wanted to talk about Magistus in 2025. What can the deck do so that you, whenever you're making your own lists, whenever you're testing things out yourself, have an idea of the major one of the main lines of the deck. Of course, there are variations depending on what deck you're trying to play. If you're playing a pure variant of the deck, it's a little bit different. But with most combo variations of the deck, here's what you would do, and I'm just going to show it off. And then I'll also show off this deck's combo. So your starter is basically Rilliona on a Spoon. Spoon will just grab Rilliona. You normal summon Rilliona, and then as you expect, you can get Lacrima of Light. Use Lacrima of Light. Of course, just a little tidbit, I'll throw them in while I'm playing. You probably want to keep Lacrima of Light until after Rilliona resolves, and you give your opponent time to respond, because if they hit you withdraw, there's a line with this deck which gets to Baguska and SP to draw. In the case that they draw you, you would just special summon out Jenny, then use Jenny into Artemis, or you don't even need to do that. You can just do Jenny and Rilliona into SP, and then Zora attach Artemis, revive one, make Bagusta. It's very simple. You would special out Zora by using Jenny's effect in graveyard. So we use Jenny's effect in graveyard, copy the effect to special summon, bring out Zora, and then you would make Babushka plus SP. Now, assuming that our opponent doesn't have Droll, or hasn't interrupted us in some way, you then use Zora's effect attach. Very important to you should attach even though you can't revive anything yet, because this keeps 2 level 4 bodies on board until And so you play around like an ogre on Zora. You still have a level 4 body. You grab your spoon, and then you go Artemis, spoon effect, grab new Crowley, special summon out, and now you have a negate for Nibiru on your first summon. Now it's also actually interesting because the Mitsurgui package, the way you get into it, can only be basically asked. I don't believe Ghost Mourner works on it, but you have Zora to beat like a hand trap on your Mitsurgui package, or you can beat Nibiru now, because this is on your fifth summon. Now you would just, since we're playing a version that we don't care for the spell sent, attach your Crowley, attach the Artemis, and the Zora effect to revive. And this is the major point of the deck. This is what most decks that you're playing Magistus will get to, off of just a small amount of engine. You get to 3 level 4 bodies, plus your Zora with a pop equipped. This is an important part to remember for all your decks if you're ever trying to build this deck, or build a Magistus, what this deck can do. Now that you have your 3 level 4 bodies, now we're doing the Mitsurgi combo, which you probably have seen from Rilliona Mitsurgui, which is a comparable deck. You want to tribute Saji, because you don't want to have Saji be able to get impermanent Veilered. Grab your ritual spell. Now, there's 2 lines at this point. There is a line to make Baguska IP trap set and Ami on field. And there's a line to get prayers plus trap set, so the quick play spell and the trap, IP, Zora, and Dugaris to draw. I prefer the one that has the 2 back rows, so prayers and Omni Negate, versus just Baguska, because Baguska is a card that can like win games, especially if your opponent has no out. But you want to play as safe as possible, right? So having the prayers set, if they have like a Lightning Storm or something, and I don't know, they have like evenly matched plus Lightning Storm, I don't know. It allows you to tribute and then bring it out later. I mean, that was just an example, but this is just the safer route. So then you use Ami effect in the graveyard, or Hibakiri effect in the graveyard. Grab your prayers effect, tribute out your Ami, grab yourself Kusanagi. Then you do, I mean, you should probably just do like Kusanagi 1, Ami 2. I mean, I imagine someone knows like there's optimal ways to do that, but now you see you have your 2 spells, 2 interruptions in your hand. They're not 2 interruptions, sorry, 1 interruption plus your revive, which you can revive Ami for board wipe later. And then Dugaris to draw and cycle. Doesn't matter. This is usually to get into your non-engine. And then you can use these 2 for IP. So this is what the 1 card combo board looks like, and in the case that you went the other line, which was you would ritual summon Hibakiri from hand, and then send Kusanagi Saji. Kusanagi will grab that ritual, then you ritual summon out Ami to board. You would get Hibakiri on field, you would grab the prayers, and the line from there is pretty simple, but this is basically what the 1 card combo board looks like with the deck. So you have, all your stuff. Now I wanted to show some replays, and the important part of that was just to show you what Magistus does by itself. This works with, Rilliona or Spoon Open. Now for some replays to show off the deck. My hand's pretty okay. Like, I have a starter, no extender, but I have starter plus droplet. And obviously no going second card other than droplet. So I'm playing against a, full combo Mitsurgui board. I drew an extender. Spoon is both a starter and an extender in this deck, which is really nice. So you see, I've played through both their back row. Now they just have the board wipe, and thank gosh I have Droplet to beat that. And of course, if they had any going second cards in hands like Astral, this would have been way harder to play, but they didn't have one, so. Sorry about that, I just realized on the YouTube video it's gonna have that black bar on the top. That's my bad, guys. But I'm not gonna re-record this, I'm pretty lazy. So this time I, have full combo. Don't think they had any interruptions, which is really good, even though I do have an extender. So I beat like Ash, Veiler, Droll. Not Droll. But Ash, Veiler, or Imperm. This hand just cooks it. And see, they had Nibiru, so in the case that you get Nibs, then you still have so much material, so you can make your Shirozo and still get your equip, because we have Spoon in that one card combo in the graveyard still for follow-up. We never use his graveyard effect. And obviously the Mitsurgui portion of the deck has a ton of follow-up just because of the way that it interacts. I draw call by draw. Like you can see, Duars is annoying because of the because you don't get a draw on your main phase, but it's so good because you get so many different cards to hand. So yeah, forfeit there because then we still have the board wipe. He dropped me for 3 and they did nothing. And then Orchest. Again, just this hand is like actually pretty good when it comes to a going first hand and just like a board breaking hand because you still have 2 extenders. Well, actually, plus Habakri and then 1 starter, 1 normal summon starter. Technically, Habakri is a 1 card starter for the Mitsurgui engine. Which actually, I'll show you guys that combo line just because it might be interesting to you guys. Now, couldn't ask that because Ash was under called by. You didn't know this card can't attack because of we revived off prayers. That's an important part of this. The restrictions of the deck. It doesn't have much, but the card that you revive with prayers can't attack directly. And obviously the Dark Charmer line is so good in this deck. Just making X code with 2 cards. And that's game. And then, obviously these are just a few of the games I've been playing a lot of the deck. I have a pretty good win rate, and I only usually lose because I don't draw like my going second cards. or I just draw into multiple of the one of because you can see like there are a lot of cards in this deck that sadly you don't want to draw. Like none of these Mitsurgui cards are 1-card combos. There is a Mitsurgui card that is a 1-card combo, the normal summon, which is Aramasa. It's a 1-card combo, but I need to limit the amount of bad draws, and obviously, like, while it's a 1-card combo, there's no point to add more starters when I have, what is this, like, 6, 7, Zora is a starter, but it's not like a great one, 6, then, what, 12 starters, I believe, 12 starters, plus if you draw a Magistus name, plus a Lacquer of Light, that's the full combo as well. So if you don't know what Mitsurgui by itself does, I'll just show off that quickly. Grab your ritual spell. You're gonna have to ritual from hand this time. You need as many bodies as you want as you can. So this will show you basically the line if you do it the original combo. Next then 1. You already have a lot. You have like a lot of names, so it's okay. And then yeah, just IP. You have prayers, IP, Ami. So hand rip plus 2 interruptions off SP plus a board wipe, and follow up, which is always good. Right. Plus, if you're having to start with Habakari, then that means your hand is probably going second cards. So yeah, that's the Mitsurgui Magistus version. I think this is probably one of the better versions of Magistus. Obviously, it's not pure Magistus, but we do have a lot of spellcasters, so you know it's close enough. But yeah, this is probably one of the better versions of Magistus until we get new support in the next act of Magistus. You probably have seen multiple variations of, or I don't know if you guys have necessarily seen all the variations of Magistus, but there is like Azamana, I can't speak, Azamina Magistus. It's a 1-card combo as well. It ends on a crazy good board. But it runs the entire extra deck. There is like Blue Eyes Magistus. You guys have seen Dragon Tail working really well in the OCG. Centurion Magistus. There's a lot of variations of Magistus, and I want to keep you guys keep that in mind when you're trying to play Magistus, especially if you're looking to play it in the new format. It's a fun deck, but it just needs a bit more support to really be tier 1 or tiered in general. I mean, this deck is good, but I doubt it's gonna be a tier strategy. Hope you guys enjoy. Keep dueling with that Magistus, you know, roll my channel intro, and have a good day.